Hey everyone, and welcome to day 31 of our study through the New Testament. And we are to the point where Herod puts John in prison, and this comes from Luke 3, verses 19 and 20. So this is going to be a short one today, but it's important to hit on it because we're going to see a little bit more about this interaction between John and Jesus a little bit later on. But I'm going to read this one since it's so short. It says, John also publicly criticized Herod the ruler of Galilee, for marrying Herodias, his brother's wife, and for many other wrongs that he had done. So Herod put John in prison, adding this sin to his many others. And so what we have here is Herod. You know, the rulers, they tend to do whatever they want to do or try to do whatever they want to do. And so he was marrying. He divorced his first wife and was marrying the wife of his half brother, Philip. And so again, you something immoral, shouldn't be doing. John publicly criticizes him, and so Herod puts him in prison. And that was not uncommon back then, especially when someone as popular as John would have been at that time was doing something like that. And so John's basis for calling Herod out here was a Mosaic law or regulation that says you can't marry your brother's wife, and that's really common today too. So we that's frowned upon as well. But we see this, it was in Leviticus 20:21 and Leviticus 18:16. So again, just a small little short snippet here of something we see that happens to John. And I put a note in there, but later on we're going to see that, if you study the Bible, and if you're not, I hope I'm not going too far ahead on you, but Herod ends up executing John. We're going to see that. But the interesting thing is this was actually recorded in Josephus's writings, who was a historian as well from that time. He actually recorded this happening. So it's nice that we have confirmation outside the Bible of something that happened. And the main point in this, I think, that we need to look at is we've got to learn to speak up no matter what the cost. And that's hard sometimes. That's very hard sometimes because it's not always easy in the world that we live in to speak up. And again, we've got to do it. We got to speak up in love, and we got to speak up in not in a hateful way. I don't think John was doing that here. John was just saying, "Hey, this is wrong. We're not allowed to do this. This is against what our law, our commands." And so we've got to be willing to do the same thing. And I can tell you, when you speak up, when you stand up and speak the truth, it's going to have consequences sometimes. Right? When you stand up for what you think is right or what you know is right, there's going to be consequences for it. People are not going to like it. They're going to come after you. They're going to, publicly try to do things against you to make you look bad. And so that's, or to, in this case, they imprisoned him. So there's things that people are going to do when you speak up and tell the truth that they're not going to like, and so they're going to attack you for it. And we just got to learn. It's hard. I'll be honest with you. For my personality type, it's very hard because I don't like that. It's like I'm standing up for what's right. I'm doing what's right. Why am I being attacked for it? But we see that constantly throughout the Bible. And then in the end, it's not our job to take care of these things. It's not our job to, when we're wrong, to go after people or go after other people. It's a hard thing not to do, but that's what it's going to be up to God to take care of it. And you know what? Sometimes God's not going to answer that or take care of that in the way you want. I mean, in John's case, we're going to see he ends up getting executed for it, for standing up for what's right. You're like, well, that's not fair. It's not. It's not. But sometimes being a Christian is not fair. Just like we say, life's not fair. Sometimes being a Christian is not fair. But in the end, we've got to stand up for the truth. We've got to stand up for what's right. We've got to do what we know is right. And let people talk about you. Let people come out against you. Let people, if it gets so bad, put you in prison, right? If they have to execute you. But the ultimate thing is, hopefully we don't get that far. But the ultimate thing in the end is we've got to stand up for what's right and do what we know is right. Because I'm going to tell you right now, much rather stand before Jesus on Judgment Day and be like, look, I stood up. I tried to do the right thing. I wasn't perfect in it, but I stuck to the truth and let Him handle those who didn't. And so I think that's the most important thing we can get out of this. Again, short little snippet, 4 5 minute long video, but again, we see that Herod is put in prison, or I'm sorry, that John is put in prison by Herod. Again, I appreciate y'all watching these and watching them all the way through. I appreciate the comments that I've gotten. I've tried to make these a little bit better, a little bit more insightful each time, get a little bit better, hopefully behind the camera as I work this out. And so I just, I encourage you to share them with others if you see them. Encourage them, along with yourself, to subscribe to the channel, because again, we're going to put these things out there, and will that way you get notified every time we put them out there. And if we do other studies, or when we do other studies, you'll see those as well. And always, I just appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you.